So the reason I'm doing this is for a few reasons, probably about 2 or 3 reasons. Number one is I've been getting a lot of people asking me about contest prep and prepping for contests and about body image and how people look. And I wanted a bit of a challenge. I've got absolutely no interest in competing on stage or going on stage. But I actually wanted to experience what it actually felt like to actually do a prep. So I decided to do a 20-week prep and do it to get into the condition that if I did compete and did go on stage, that I would win. So I was, prepared to do anything that I needed to do to get the job done. Also, being a coach for so many years, it's very important for a coach to understand the journey and what your actual clients are going through, how they're feeling, the processes, the emotions, the challenges with work, with food, and all that sort of stuff. So I actually want to experience it. I have done little preps in the past, but nothing to this extent. So I wanted to go, 110% and see exactly how it felt. Also, the final reason is I'm creating a program called The Raw Life, and I wanted to shoot some content. And I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. I'm 44 now, 44 years old, 44 years young. I believe I'm like Benjamin Button. I'm getting better as I get older. So yeah, that part of the reason, I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. I wanted to do a photo shoot for the Raw Life and create content, and also have some memories of a condition that that I've got into, which is the best shape of my life. So there's some of the reasons why I'm doing this. But like I said, the biggest thing is this is an experiment. Okay, I want to see how it feels, what it feels like, give it 110% commitment, and see where it takes us. And I'm very, very pleased. Okay, so currently I'm in the last phase of the prep. I have 2 weeks left before my photo shoot and before the content shoot. So I'm very, very excited. It's been quite challenging through the whole way, but now is where it really, really gets challenging. So, the calories come down, the activity goes up. There's some manipulation with the food, up and down with carbs and fats. So it's really exciting now. I do have a contest prep coach that's helping me out with this. I have 2 coaches actually. And they've calculated everything because I want to take it out of my hands. Yes, I do this for people. I do it on a daily basis, but you really need a coach to do this because there's a lot of emotion that's involved, and you need to take it out of your hands. Otherwise, you do make wrong decisions, and I have done so in the past. So it's going to be a big 2 weeks. Energy is going to be very low. So I'm going to need everything I got to try to pull this last part off, and I'm very excited about it. Currently, emotionally, I'm pretty much wrecked. I've given it all. So just to put things in context, I started off this prep as a 20-week prep, and I had a photo shoot booked and content booked in for the end of the 20 weeks. And obviously because of COVID, that didn't go through, so the shoot was booked. So instead of me pulling the plug, I did what I normally do and went to another total extreme and decided to take the 20-week prep into a 36-week prep. So currently I'm in week 34. So I've been doing this for 34 weeks. And emotionally, it's been an absolute roller coaster. The first 10 weeks were amazing. It was pretty easy, got through it. After week 10, it started to get a little bit harder because obviously you've been on low calorie for a long time and your activity is high. So I needed to take like a week diet break. So I had a week of maintenance calories and just a bit less volume, like a deload. The next 6 weeks, were challenging, but the reality kicked in on week 16. Okay, that's when my world came crashing down. Knowing that I had 4 weeks to go, I did what I normally do. Like I said, my calories were low, but I increased my work volume and the amount of exercise that I did. Normally you'd increase it by about 20%. I doubled it, and I pretty much shut down my whole body completely. When I say shut down, my body just had enough and it just packed it in. I got an edema in the legs, so my legs just swelled up. My ankles were the size of like beach balls, couldn't put shoes on. Central nervous system crashed. Libido was non-existent. Emotions. My system just totally shut down. So then after speaking to my coach, we decided to go on a week of no training, back to maintenance calories, and just a full break. Obviously, because like I said, I increased my work output so much. It was, they see these in concentration camps where they're starving and they do so much work and they get edema in the legs. It was a massive wake-up call. But I'm glad I got to experience it because I understand what to do and what not to do. Like I said, this whole exercise is an experiment. So I'm learning so much along the way. So then, obviously, I got that sorted out after about a week or two, but unfortunately the damage has already been done. So I've been trying to mitigate the stress as much as possible throughout this whole prep. So we came up with a new plan where we were going to push for 4 weeks, like do a good push for 4 weeks and then have a week diet break and a week of a deload. And that's worked really well. So what we're doing is we're just pushing the stress levels up and down. When my legs start to swell, things like that, we know we're almost ready for it to come back. So I can't believe how, I did know, but it is so unhealthy to be in such a deficit for so long and do so much. Contest prep is no joke. At the moment, I'm probably looking the best that I've ever looked, but I'm feeling the worst I've ever felt. And that's massive, you know what I mean? So, great, I look fantastic, I'm in shape, my body fat's coming down, but I feel like a total train wreck, The lower the body fat you get, obviously your sleep is affected, your libido is affected. I'm not sleeping very well. The lower I get in body fat, I'm going to drink more water, obviously, to try to stay full. I'm waking up 3 or 4 times throughout the night. I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm awake. So it's quite challenging, you know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do. And like I said, I'm grateful to experience it. I'm learning so much and I can help so many people, come out of the other side in regards to if they do have these symptoms, how to recover it, things like meditation, sleep, stretching, all that sort of stuff, really had a big impact on me getting back on track. And I pretty much come up with strategies and systems on how to fix and how to mitigate stress as much as possible. The point of stress mitigation is massive, and I didn't realize that. And also having a coach tell you to not train and tell you to stop to put up your calories, and that is very important, because if I was to coach someone to do that, it would be a normal process, you know what I mean? I'd plan diet breaks, I'd plan, deloads, I'd plan all this sort of stuff. But when you're doing it yourself, okay, you just want that end goal. You want to be in the best condition possible. And the thing is, like, instead of me backing off my training because my calories are so low, I actually doubled my training. I actually made things worse. So this time round, like I said, I'm at the last 2 weeks of the prep, and my coach has got me backing off as we get closer and closer to the date instead of ramping the volume up. Okay, and it's working, it's paying off. Weight's still coming off. I didn't realize how much stress has such an effect on you holding on to weight, retaining water through the last part of the prep in regards to when my body shut down on me. I've been dealing with water retention. That's been a big problem, and I've just been trying to balance that as much as possible. But if I started doing this earlier, I wouldn't have had to deal with these problems. So that's where I'm at the moment. Emotionally wrecked, still headstrong, but ready to bring it home. And I can't wait to show you the total package at the end. So if I was to do this again, and I probably will, because I'm a sucker for punishment, the first thing I would do is I would plan it a little bit better in regards to the end part of the prep. What worked really, really well for me this time, like I said, a long prep is not a bad thing if you can mitigate your stress, manage your stress, okay? What I would do differently is I would do probably a 4-week hard push, and I'd have a week of a diet break, deload, very much a lot of rest, and I'd go through the whole prep that way. And also, the last part of the prep, like I said, I would start to taper down, start deloading a lot sooner, and and while the calories are coming down. So that's probably the biggest thing that I would change. Like I said, it was pretty cruisy for the first part, but once my body shut down on me, it was a total uphill battle. It has been since. So that's what I would change. I wouldn't let my body shut down on me. That's the biggest thing. If someone asked me now, they were considering it doing themselves, I'd have to see what frame of mind they'd be in. They have to be very, very prepared on what's to come. Now, just because we see people look a certain way doesn't mean they feel a certain way. That's the biggest thing that I took. Like I said, I'm in the best shape of my life, but I'm feeling worse than I've ever felt. It is a very unhealthy process. There's nothing healthy about it, because, like I said, you're reducing your calories, so you're going, like, your body's starving and you're doing so much work to try to get leaner and leaner. Your body doesn't want to be that lean. So it's not a natural thing. And then also the foods that I'm consuming now, a lot of the foods I'm consuming are some foods that I would have told people not to consume. So you look for 0 calorie things with artificial sweeteners and things like that, just to try to get by so you don't break your diet. So it is a very unhealthy process. They need to be mentally strong and ready to go. It's not going to be easy in any form. And like I said, your body's probably going to need to heal after it. You're going for a look on a day or a competition, things like that. And that's why as soon as the competition's over or the shoot's over, people blow out. It's just their body, wanting more food, wanting, rest. I do have a plan and a strategy, which, I don't want to make that same mistake. But that's another video, and I'll tell you more about that later. It is a massive commitment. So people see me and, they say, oh, you look fantastic. But what they don't understand is, for the last 34 weeks, there has nothing that has gone in my mouth that hasn't been weighed or measured to the milligram, okay? Anything that goes in my mouth, I have my scales, I take them everywhere I go. 99% of my food is prepped. Okay, I'm very fortunate to have an amazing wife who weighs and measures all my food. It's all contained. I haven't been able to eat out in the last 34 weeks. I did have some functions, things like that, but I either took food with me or weighed the food that was there and estimated as close as possible. But I also accounted for that with more exercise or training. So the commitment is huge. If you think you're going to go in and just wing it and go out to restaurants and it's going to be easy, you're in for a rude awakening. Okay. Same with the training. All your training's calculated, all your training's programmed, your steps are calculated to be successful. That is, like, I'm doing this to win, or to be in a condition where I could walk on stage and win. There's different levels of commitment for what you want. And I'm talking about contest prep. I'm talking about taking it, to an extreme. And like I said, I'd like to do things in extreme because then I can dial it back and fit it into any other people's lives. You know what I mean? So, so it is massive. And like I said, your sleep will be affected, your moods will be affected, the people around you. It's very important that you've got a good support community. I'm so fortunate my wife is my backbone. If it wasn't for her, I couldn't do this. My moods go up and down. You're cranky one day when you haven't eaten, you're snappy, you're angry, you're sad, and then you eat and you're happy, and like it's a roller coaster. So you need to be prepared for that, and that's the biggest takeaway point that I've taken from this. You need support, you need to be headstrong, and you need to understand what you're getting into. And that's why I'm happy I've done this, because I can advise people on what they need to do and what they're going to experience. And if they do crash, this is what's going to happen. This is how to fix it. So it's been great. The experiment has been very successful so far. Okay, so I've got 2 weeks to go until the final photo shoot or the final prep is over. Now, this will be the last time that I'm going to film any content. I will post a picture in regards to how I'm looking right now, 2 weeks out. And this is where shit gets really real for me, because the diet changes, training changes, and I can't wait to show you the total package in 2 weeks' time. So the next time you'll see something from me will be after the photo shoot. So stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Boom! Let's get it, boy.